At 11:47, you open the conversation again. Your message is still there. Their reply is not. So you do the reasonable thing, or what feels reasonable in that narrow, private moment. You check whether they were active. You look at the story they posted. You notice a photo, a song, a name in the comments. Then you return to the message as if the screen might finally explain what the person would not. Nothing has changed. But your mind has been given more material to work with. That is the trap. The difficult part of an unfinished connection is not always the person. It is the gap between access and answer. You can still see them. You can still collect small pieces of their day. But you no longer know what those pieces mean to you. A platform keeps the window open after the relationship has become unclear, and an open window can feel like an invitation to keep looking. This is not proof that they are manipulating you. A delayed reply can mean a dozen ordinary things. It is also not proof that you are irrational, obsessed, or broken. It is what happens when a question with emotional weight is placed beside a machine that offers endless fragments, but no verdict. Psychologists call one part of this relational uncertainty. In plain English, it means not knowing where you stand with someone or what the relationship is becoming. It is the feeling of reading a warm message from last week beside silence today, and being unable to tell whether the change is temporary, meaningful, or nothing at all. The uncertainty is not merely uncomfortable. It asks your mind to solve a social problem with incomplete information. That is why checking can disguise itself as investigation. You tell yourself you are only looking for clarity, but a profile can show that someone was online without telling you why they did not answer. A new photo can show that their day continued without telling you whether your connection is over. Every clue has the shape of information and the emotional force of evidence, while rarely giving you the one thing you wanted, a clear position. The feed is especially effective because it gives you partial access. Before this kind of access existed, a person could become absent from your daily view. Now absence is mixed with presence. You see the proof that they are somewhere, doing something, perhaps laughing with people you do not know. Your mind treats visibility as relevance. If you can see it, surely it must contain an answer about you. It usually does not. Research on electronic partner surveillance gives this pattern a more precise name. It means using social media to monitor a current or former partner. The phrase sounds severe, but the ordinary version can be as small as reopening a profile after an unanswered message. In a 2014 study, Jesse Fox and Katie Warber found links among attachment style, relational uncertainty, and this kind of monitoring. Crucially, uncertainty itself did not predict monitoring in their survey. That limitation matters. You cannot look at one person checking a profile and declare the cause. You also cannot use the label to diagnose yourself. The useful insight is smaller and more honest. Digital access can turn an unclear relationship into an information loop. You feel uncertain. You look for a clue. The clue creates another interpretation. Then the next check feels necessary because the last one did not settle anything. Notice the power relation inside that loop. It may not be a person exercising deliberate control over you. Sometimes nobody is pulling a string. The power sits in the arrangement. One person has no obligation to explain themselves, while the other person has constant access to signals that look interpretable. You are given enough visibility to keep asking a question, but not enough mutual communication to answer it. That arrangement can make you abandon your own standard of evidence. You begin treating a view, a follow, a late-night post, or a missing photo as if it carried the weight of a conversation. You build a case from details that were never addressed to you. The more painful the uncertainty becomes, the more persuasive the details can feel. Another study, published in 2025 by Serafina Metellus and colleagues, followed young adults over time and found that social media jealousy, electronic surveillance, and lower relationship satisfaction were connected. It did not prove that a single scroll causes a relationship to fail. It did show why the screen deserves more caution than people usually give it. When the relationship is strained, the feed does not become a neutral witness. It can become a place where jealousy, comparison, and monitoring have room to feed each other. This is the point where people often make the wrong demand of themselves. They try to stop caring. They try to prove they are above the person, above the message, above the need for an answer. That usually turns the phone into another test of self-control and another reason to feel ashamed when they check again. You do not need to make yourself indifferent. You need to stop asking a tool for an answer it cannot provide. Start with one hard distinction. Is this check capable of changing a decision you need to make? If the answer is no, then you are not gathering evidence. You are reopening exposure to a cue that keeps the question alive. Seeing that they were active does not tell you whether to send a boundary, ask for clarity, step back, or wait. It only tells you that the app has more fragments to offer. The next move is not a performance of strength, it is a change in access. Mute the story, remove the shortcut, archive the thread. Put a little distance between the question and the machine designed to keep supplying it. That is not a verdict on the person. It is a refusal to let partial information conduct the relationship in their absence. Then return to the question the screen keeps disguising. What do you need in order to continue here with self-respect? Maybe you need a direct conversation. Maybe you need a time limit rather than a permanent promise. Maybe the lack of clarity is already enough information about what this connection can offer you right now. You do not have to guess their motive to decide what level of uncertainty you will accept. The darker truth is that a relationship can remain psychologically active long after it has stopped being mutual. Not because you are weak, because visibility can imitate connection and ambiguity can keep demanding interpretation. At 11:47, the conversation still has no new reply. But the most important answer was never hidden in their activity status. It was hidden in the question you stopped asking, whether a screen full of traces is enough to keep you waiting.